Dear mobile game developers, I want full control over the audio of my phone. Before anything else, allow me to clarify this. I'm not a game developer myself. I'm offering my opinion as a player, so if I end up saying something foolish, please, dear developer, enlighten me in the comments. With that out of the way, let me begin by explaining what I'm requesting from you here. For that, I must talk about what is, in my opinion, the cornerstone of a good mobile game. That it understands that will be played on a smartphone. For example, games that try to recreate a complex button layout on a touchscreen do not, in my opinion, understand the hardware it's being played on, and the player's experience suffers for that. A better mobile game tries to use the input methods of a smartphone to its advantage, be it the touchscreen, the accelerometer, the camera, or whatever it is offered by the hardware. Another example are single-player games that require an online connection at all times, even if it isn't really necessary for the enjoyment of the game. Usually this happens on free-to-play games, and the online connection is used to show ads or sell microtransactions. I understand that you, dear developer, need these elements in your games in order to be profitable, but it's not always that a player can go online with his or her smartphone to play your game. Perhaps he or she doesn't have a decent data plan, easy Wi-Fi access, or even a good reception. Those games do not understand that smartphones aren't always easily connected to the internet and end up keeping the player from playing it. Better mobile games have some ads stored for offline view and just offer microtransactions when connected online in a way allowed by the player. Having said that, those two examples are minor annoyances for me personally. If the rest of the game is good enough, I can live with them. However, there is a deal breaker for me. When a game lacks this one feature, I usually delete it. I furiously delete it. And thus, I can finally properly present to you my request, the one thing I want in all of my mobile games. A shut up button. I want to be able to mute all sounds from the games I download on my phone without having to put it in silent mode. If I'm able to choose what quiet, like just the music or just the sound effects, even better. But it has to be possible to fully silence the game. This request is directly related to the game understanding that it's being played on a smartphone. In this case, I want the game to understand that it's being played on a machine that is not used exclusively to play games. Smartphones are also portable electronic devices for playing digital audio files. It's not uncommon to people to be previously listening to something when they decide to play a game on the same device. And sometimes when the player opens the game, it mutes what he or she was listening, and there's no way for him or her to play the game and listen to whatever he or she desires at the same time. Seriously, don't do that. It's infuriating when a game does that. It's my phone, I'll listen to whatever I want on it. I understand that in some cases a game really needs its audio to be properly played, like in a rhythm game. Even so, I think it should warn and ask before muting whatever the player is listening to prior to open the game. There's also another thing that smartphones are that is relevant to this discussion. Telephones. They are able to receive phone calls. One of the ways the device alerts the user that is receiving a call is with a ringtone. If the user hears it, he or she can answer the call. However, it's not always that the smartphone bearer can have the device producing a sound, like in a movie theater, for example. That's why all smartphones offer a silent mode. But the human brain is not perfect. It's not uncommon for people to forget their devices on silent mode even after the situation that required quietness has ended, and, as a consequence, they miss some phone calls. When a game does not offer a way to silence itself besides muting the device through silent mode, it's raising the chances of the player losing a phone call. It doesn't understand that it's being played on a device that has other uses for its speakers, and, in my opinion, it's a bad game, one that I don't want to play. I understand that the game's audio is part of the experience and that you, dear developer, spent a lot of time and resources crafting the best auricular experience. But I believe the player should have the last word on how he or she experiences a game, especially when played on a smartphone. Once again, I'm not a game developer. Maybe I'm just being an entitled gamer requesting something that only I would enjoy. Maybe I'm the only one who likes to listen to a different audio file while playing games on my phone. Maybe I'm the single human being that sometimes forgets the smartphone on silent mode and loses a call. But still, please consider my plea the next time you're developing a new game and add a shut up button to it. I'd be most grateful. Yours sincerely, the Pistolarian Gamer.